Welcome to Precis Show. Thank you, the platform of Gurukul. It's a platform where different kind of opinion, not from the subject matter expert always, rather impromptu thought process of common people's thought will be captured and will be shared with you through the platform of Gurukul. So we invite all of you to come forward and contact to the numbers below to share your thoughts with us so we can make a dedicated show on you. The impromptu thought of common people is actually the mirror of our society. Today, in the backdrop of terror attack in our neighboring island nation, Sri Lanka, and with the memory of recent attack in Kashmir, Polom attack, I thought to discuss something on terrorism and what is the perceptions, what is the psyche behind this. I'm not a security expert, neither I have intention to give a profound knowledge on this. I will simply want to share with you what I thought, what came in my mind when I actually go through all these newspaper headlines for the terror attack and its ramifications in various corners of the globe. The first thing which come in my mind is a phrase that a single death is a tragedy. A million death is merely a statistic. So when in the morning newspaper we come to know about a terrorist attack and a certain number of casualty, it's really impact our psyche. Our thought process and our peace get perturbed. But do we at all think that is this the number which makes us perturbed? Rather, it is our thought process that get impacted, and that's why we get perturbed. Now let me explain you how. Whenever there is a change in our day-to-day life, our way of life, that disturbs us. We get accustomed with few things, and the things which we get accustomed with, we never introspect the ramifications and impact. Rather, which are not accustomed, whether it is insignificant or significant, that disturbs our mind most. My intention is not to say that the casualty and the suffering due to terror attack is insignificant in our life. Rather, I want to say that it is very much significant. Our thought process is that, oh, so those are the people who has been affected. But I'm here in Kolkata. What is happening in Siachen? What is happening in Kashmir? What is happening in Sri Lanka? Or Batalik sector or Kargil sector? That's not my personal suffering. It's just mere a news for me. But is it really like that? For an example, the 9/11, the Mumbai attack, whenever this kind of things happen around us, whether we are personally affected by that or not, we as a nation, as a society, we all of them pay very hefty price from our pocket. Example, 10 years back, were we so much of accustomed with CCTV and so much of e-vigilance, digital monitoring? Now, whenever any attack will happen, our hotels, five-star hotels will beefed up with a new layer of security measure, the undercarriage mirror, that metal detector gateway, the door, the metal detector door frame, and all other physical deployment of additional security, many things. In each way, all these things are actually affecting, it's actually pocket pinching. Like a cup of coffee we are having in a hotel, five-star hotel, we are paying additional price for this additional safety measure, which is merely to satisfy our psychology, because that attack will never happen to that hotel again. And what we are going to do? The five-star hotels has been, a three-star hotel has come under this security measure. The government offices, the complexes has come into security measure. Now, when you are going to have your first morning tea at the local Nukkar Para tea stall or the local restaurant, is there any attack? Can you afford to have this kind of security measure there also? Well, up to which extent we can go and we can keep on spending? Whenever we are entering a mall, our little childs are also get frisked and security to go through the security measure. So from the childhood, they are under scanner and they are actually developing a different kind of psyche. due to this terrorism. And instead of spending money for constructive things as a nation, as a society, we are being compelled to spend for negative things. Giving you another example, suppose there is a Nirbhaya incident or any other incidents of rape or any other disgracement of women that eventually ripple our society. The action which we take is merely like all the work sector where women have the equal privilege to work are getting curtailed, because by 8 o'clock they have to be flush out. If they need to stay for flushing out after post 8 o'clock, the employer has to arrange the transportation with security and a lot of other measures. And this kind of guidance, this kind of new law, is it actually helping us to ensure our security, or it's a detrimental to our growth? For an example, suppose a tier 2 or tier 3 city, town or small town, when a girls are aspirant to come and join this workforce in the big city, her freedom is getting curtailed. Don't go to the big cities. It's not good. It's not safe for the woman. So finally what is happening? The girl is not achieving her dream. It is not a single girl is not achieving his dream. Rather, it is creating a bad precedent. She could have been role model for her small town or for her village. And many more girls could have been encouraged to come to the city and join that workforce and or pursue the higher educations or require qualification to obtain the required qualification to work together, shouldering with the male workforce. But as a nation, for any kind of crime or terrorism, we are basically going back. We are, instead of moving ahead, we are retreating. So it's actually a detrimental to our growth. Now what is the solution? Like everywhere it's happening, and how extent we can go to cover up these things or to ensure to protect our things? Is it really possible that everywhere the security force will be there whenever the terror attack will happen or any kind of disgracement will happen for a lady? That domestic security force, the police or army, they cannot cover the every nook and corner of this vast country, or in a matter of fact anywhere. So what is the possible solution? I'm coming to another part. It's not the casualty of the figure of the terrorism. If figure would have been the criteria, then as a nation probably we would have thought, or we would have introspect much deeper in other way of loss of precious life. Like giving you an example of road accident. A simple road accident, as per statistics, we lose more than 1.5 lakhs of people every year. So when we are recording this conversation or when you are listening to this discussion, we are losing 5 to 20 precious life during this course of time. But we are not bothered of that, because that is not creating a ripple in our backbone. It's not creating a ripple in our society. But that huge loss could have been avoided by adopting a basic principle, basic best practices and discipline while driving, while crossing the road. But no, we are not that much of serious. Rather, we'll spend million and billion on a security apparatus just to assuage our psyche pertaining to the terrorism. There's another double standard things, like as a country, we are patient and we are accommodating, compromising for all kind of corruption. Like from the border, the containers full of heroines, drugs, or other things are coming to our country. But impurity of medicines are killing millions of people every year. Impurity in our day-to-day food, even to the baby food, is devastating our life and slow poisoning our nation, our growth. But we are oblivious of these facts. Rather, we expect the same security force or same law enforcing agency, those are habituated to be blind for all these transactions of corruption, will be very vigilant when RDX is coming into our country. This is not possible. So now coming to the solution. In my mind, the solution is that as a civilian, we have to be prepared, we have to be aware, we have to be conscious about our surroundings, about the need of the hour. How? Like if we go to the border of Kashmir, the mother teach their child how to act or react when the shelling is happening. In Palestine or the Middle East, the war-torn country, civil war affected country, the children, the women, they know how to react, how to respond when the bombing is happening, where to take shelters, and how to defend. But here in our school, most of the schools are this NCC or the physical activities are also not mandatory. We are only concentrating on education, which is not holistic in manner. As an adult, we are not conscious or aware about our neighbor. We stay in a very isolated manner. We think we are connected with the gadgets like mobile, laptops, through all that gadgets. But are we really connected? We don't know who is our neighbor, what is his or her pain, what is the situation, what is the surrounding, how the demography around us is changing so rapidly, and what could be the impact of that, what could be the impact in our way of life for this fast changing demography. We are not conscious about that. We only expect the government and law enforcing agency will act and will give solution to all the problems. So whenever the next time any kind of terror attack or any kind of unfortunate rape is happening, let's think twice before googling it or before grab the newspaper and grasp the news, or sitting in front of panel discussion and create your own opinion and spread that opinion across a friendly chat or drawing room discussion. Think twice or introspect twice what we can do as a society, as a citizen, how we can be vigilant instead of depending on devices, how we can be cautious, aware, sensitive about the threat, perception of threat, and the changing nature of threat, which is not limited to only terrorism. Signing off today. Soon we'll catch up with some new topic which will be food for thought. Thank you.